Recently, the Seminar Strategic Development for Ocean Industries Experience from Norway and Prospects in Vietnam, held by Vietnam's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Norway's Ministry of Industry and Trade and Fisheries, took place in Hanoi. There were more than 100 participants from various offices, research institutes and enterprises in Vietnam in the fields of aquaculture, marine, etc. They discussed about the status of Vietnam's ocean industries, measures to enhance their competitiveness, as well as the potential of cooperation between Vietnam and Norway in this field.
Na Uy là một đất nước rất có thế mạnh về kinh tế biển, đặc biệt là kinh tế hàng hải. Trong đó thì chúng tôi nhận định rằng là Na Uy là một đất nước mà phát triển về vận tải biển, về công nghiệp tàu thủy, đặc biệt là các cái công nghệ cao. Chính vì vậy thì Việt Nam rất mong muốn được hợp tác với Na Uy trong lĩnh vực về hoạch định chính sách.
Tôi cho rằng đây sẽ là một cái cơ hội rất tốt để làm sao đó Việt Nam với Na Uy sẽ tăng cường sự phối hợp và hợp tác trong cái lĩnh vực đấy để chúng ta có thể phát triển, để đưa cái nghị quyết của Trung ương về chiến lược phát triển biển của chúng ta vào cuộc sống, và chúng ta trong tương lai chúng ta sẽ thực sự trở thành một quốc gia mạnh về biển và giàu về biển.
With a coastal life of over 3,260 km, about 1 million square kilometer exclusive economic zone, which is 3 times larger than its land, Vietnam has great potential for ocean industries, particularly aquaculture and seafood export. When ocean industry has become one of the key sectors of the world economy, raising competitiveness coupled with the strategic development of sustainable ocean industry will be the urgent requirement for Vietnam in the future.
Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 Netviet. I'm ôNG. So Vietnam is one of the countries with the great marine resources and the great potential to cooperate with other foreign countries in various fields, of which aquaculture is one of the main industries of Vietnam. So in our program today, we have a talk to Mr. TORGER REVE, Director of the Norwegian Strategy and Competitiveness Industry Center, and he will share more about the strategy to develop aquaculture industry effectively in Vietnam. Thank you, Mr. TORGER REVE, for joining our program today. So first of all, what do you think about the development of Vietnam's ocean industries recently?
Well, you have a terrific resource right outside your coast, your ocean. And I think so far Vietnam has focused on its land. But there are more resources out in the ocean. And you need, for the future, I think, to put more emphasis on ocean industries. You have some strong ocean industries already. You're in shipping, you're in shipbuilding, on fish farming, fisheries, ocean tourism and so on. But I see it should be much stronger. And you are so well positioned because you are in Asia. Next door are your big markets. So the resource of the ocean should be a main strategic topic for Vietnam.
Vietnam is known as a country with the potential and abundant marine resources. So how this advantage boosts Vietnam's marine industries?
Well, there are certain important issues when you develop the ocean resources. First of all, you have to make sure the ocean resources are not destroyed. So there is a protection, the environmental issues, you have to be very careful because this is your future for industry. So you need to take well care of your ocean. Then you have some discussions with your neighbors. So exactly where are the dividing line between our ocean and their ocean? Yeah. So there are big important questions to be solved. But when you solve those, I think you find there are so many industrial opportunities in this. But if you're talking about aquaculture, you can cultivate almost every kind of seafood in the sea. It's like taking agriculture into the ocean. Mm-hmm. And in order to feed the population of the world, we need to get food from the sea, not only food from the land. The land is almost being destroyed many places because of overextended agriculture. The sea will still have lots and lots of potential. Only 2% of the food in the world comes from sea today. 98% come from land. But they can produce the same amount. So in the future, 50% can come from ocean. Now, you should be part of that development.
So what are the most impressive ocean industries of Vietnam to you?
Of course, you have several ocean industries. You have offshore oil and gas, you have maritime and so on. But I think I would, as I said already, I would point to food as the key resource for the future. The world will need food, a growing population will need food, and the healthy seafood that you can produce from aquaculture, and there are all kinds of species. Norway is leader in only one species, but very important one, salmon. We export salmon to the world, a very profitable industry. You could develop similar industries here that is adapted to subtropical water, and also I'm talking about seaweed and other species, not simply fish, because everything that grows in the sea can be cultivated.
Well, aquaculture is one of the main industries of Vietnam, especially in the coastal line areas. So what are the main challenges for aquaculture industry in Vietnam?
Well, the challenges are many because you need to have high quality standards. Sometimes aquaculture pollutes its water, so you destroy the base for it. Sometimes you get diseases that makes it difficult to produce. So you have to be very careful and to do it right. And you have to have regulations so it's not overused. But if that is said, if you do it the right way, the potential is enormous. And the market is right next door.
Among the ocean industries of Vietnam, aquaculture plays an important role in the economic development of the country. From a small manufacturing sector, aquaculture has become one of the key economic sectors of the country, with high growth rates, a larger proportion of GDP. According to the General Directorate of Fisheries, in 2014, total aquaculture production reached 6.3 million tons, a year-on-year increase of 4.4%. The export value reached $7.92 billion, a year-on-year increase of 18%. Vietnam seafoods are now exported to more than 160 markets. The USA, Japan, and the EU are the three largest markets, accounting for 50 to 60% of Vietnam's export value.
Ngành thủy sản thì đang phát triển theo đúng hướng của cái quy hoạch tổng thể phát triển ngành thủy sản đến năm 2020 và tầm nhìn đến 2030 đã được Thủ tướng phê duyệt tại quyết định 1690, và cái tổng sản lượng khai thác cũng như tổng sản lượng nuôi trồng thủy sản đã phát triển theo đúng hướng và có nhiều cái triển vọng tốt. Thì tuy nhiên thì cũng đã gặp trong quá trình phát triển đã gặp một số khó khăn, ví dụ như là cái thị trường do cái suy thoái của kinh tế nói chung quốc tế thì đã có cái tác động xấu, không có cái thị trường tốt cho tiêu thụ một số các cái sản phẩm truyền thống như cá tra, cá ngừ. Tuy nhiên bằng một số những nỗ lực và chỉ đạo sát sao của các cấp lãnh đạo thì ngành thủy sản cũng đã chủ động đã tìm kiếm được những cái thị trường mới.
To develop the aquaculture in a sustainable way, learning the experiences from developed countries is extremely important. Norway is one of the world's largest aquaculture exporters with experience in fisheries sector. On May 8, 2014, Vietnam's Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and Directorate of Fisheries visited the Norwegian market. The two sides have exchanged views on lessons and promisings to cooperate in the related industry.
Na Uy đã có một cái hợp tác khá lâu, như có thể nói rằng là hơn 40 năm, 45 năm thì hai nước đã có một cái truyền thống hợp tác rất là tốt, với rất là nhiệt tình, bởi vì cái văn hóa cũng như là những cái giá trị truyền thống của hai quốc gia cũng có cái mặt tương đồng, đặc biệt là trong cái ngành thủy sản. Thì cái ngành thủy sản đã được hợp tác với Na Uy trong cái phát triển về điều tra nguồn lợi, phát triển nuôi trồng thủy sản và đặc biệt là giáo dục đào tạo.
Phía Việt Nam thì đã đề xuất về một số cái chương trình hợp tác, trong đó có nhiều lĩnh vực như là lĩnh vực về đánh bắt, nuôi trồng thủy sản. Về phía chúng tôi thì trong lĩnh vực của quản lý nhà nước về hàng hải, chúng tôi đề xuất với Na Uy tăng cường cái hỗ trợ về đào tạo nguồn nhân lực, đặc biệt là đào tạo thuyền viên, đạt được cái trình độ mà phục vụ cho làm việc trên các tàu biển của châu Âu.
Under the context of global economic integration, Vietnam straits, in general, and aquaculture in particular have various opportunities for local exporters. Strategy for aquaculture should focus on quality and sustainability between raising value-added, quality assurance, food safety, and environmental protection, as well as social welfare. To achieve this, the authorities should create favorable conditions for enterprises to build international relations, thereby promoting the development of aquaculture. So can you share some feasible solutions for Vietnam aquaculture industry in particular and the Vietnam's ocean industry generally to overcome those kind of challenges?
Well, I think you need some good regulations to make sure you don't destroy the environment. You need some good quality standards, but I also think you need to do some structural changes. Because when Norway started aquaculture, we only had small units. We let the fishermen have a small farm. That didn't grow so much. Now we have large companies in there. We have industrial companies, international companies that is in that industry. I think in order to get good growth, you need more than small units. Yeah. Remember, they should also sell the fish and the seafood to the market. And a fisherman or a farmer is not able to do that. You need professional organization that can develop food brands. And you meet the big food chains, and you need to be strong to negotiate with them. So I think you need to rethink the structure of the industry.
Okay, so what are the experience lessons from Norway in developing the ocean industries that should be applied in Vietnam?
Well, I think we have had many lessons because we have done many mistakes. But I think the main lesson is to train people, to build a knowledge base, to have the research, to make sure you control diseases, you don't over-exaggerate, and so on. If we compare Norway and Chile, which also had a big salmon fish farming, they almost killed their whole fish farming industry because they didn't manage the environment well. Now they are back in stream. So I think you should learn from the countries that have a long experience in that, but you need to have the various knowledges interacting. You need to understand the marine biology. You have to understand the food side. You have to understand the technology. You have to make sure how you feed them, because the fodder is a big constraint. If you feed them by things from land, you are still doing agriculture, so you need to figure out what are the best things. And I think you should go into the microalgae, the macroalgae, everything from the sea. So in a way you cultivate the sea, like you have successfully cultivated the land and produced rice for so many hundred years.
Okay, so I can see that. So can you share more about the potential of cooperation in the ocean industries between Vietnam and Norway in the future?
I think there are many ways of doing that. One way that's already in place to a certain extent is education. That you can send people from Norway to be educated in this, to learn the technology, to learn the things, not only for how to run fish farms, but also the research side, the basic sciences behind it, and so on. And I think you need to attract Norwegian and international companies here, and then they will invest in Vietnam, and then you will have maybe companies with, like we see in shipbuilding, you find plants in many countries, and you can exchange between them. So you need to build a global industry. This is not a local industry, it's not a national industry, it's an international industry. And Vietnam can find a very, very strong position because you have such good coast and so good water, as long as you manage it well.
Thank you, Mr. TORGER REVE, for joining our program today. And that is also the end of our program Sharing Vietnam. For comments and feedbacks, please send it to sharingvietnam@netviet.net. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.